Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and this is Saroj Parajuli. So I did my PhD from University of Florida in molecular biology and genetics, and I worked on sugarcane metabolic engineering. So I worked on different genes in the pathway and all the upregulation, downregulation and knockout of different genes. So I'm going to start a new series on DNA, RNA and protein. So mostly what we try to understand is DNA separate, RNA separate and protein. So if we understand these three things together, then it will be very easy for us to understand the different mechanisms. So we'll start with the DNA in the beginning. As we have a common definition of DNA, it's a deoxyribonucleic acid. It has like double helical structure. So that's the basic definition of DNA. In RNA coming from DNA, it's from the transcription. So it's mostly the single-stranded. And from that single-stranded, that's the DNA to RNA, that's the messenger RNA. There is a blueprint, genetic code, and it flows to RNA. And from RNA, there comes the interesting part is the protein. RNA gets the message from DNA, and then it makes the protein. So that's the step is called translation. So let's try to understand this as a whole. So in the beginning, like DNA is everything. It's the blueprint of our life. So what will happen when we have DNA? Our DNA is the one that decides what kind of trait we are getting. So how we look like, how we behave, everything. It's everything. It's the blueprint of everything. You won't believe, but it's the blueprint for everything. And that's the interesting part that I'm going to share is it's everything. At the same time, you can change at your will. And I will talk how we can change at our will. This might be interesting to you. At the same time, you may not believe it. But once I talk about different mechanisms of epigenetics and other behavior, then you will agree with me. Everything is encoded in the DNA. And from the DNA, it makes the RNA. And RNA is the single-stranded, and it comes from DNA. And it takes that information to protein. And protein is the one that gives all the phenotype, how we look like. So specific protein has a specific mechanism, and proteins, they act on need and also on signals. When you have a signal, a specific protein is released, and that all the information comes from DNA. So we should agree with one thing is DNA is the ultimate blueprint, and DNA is fixed. You cannot change your DNA. But one thing you can do is you can change how it expresses. So you may have the DNA. So understand this one. This one people usually call it central dogma of molecular biology. DNA to RNA, RNA to protein, the flow of information. But what you don't know is from DNA it goes to RNA, and you can optimize how the things are expressed. So during the evolution, so there is another part called epigenetics. During the evolution, what happens is whatever we are interested in and whatever we do more, those things are being recorded in our DNA. Those are coded in our DNA. And the same thing passes from one generation to another generation through DNA sequence. It's not only the exact DNA sequence, but also the regulation. There are different regulators and also how they are acetylated and methylated. So DNA can be fixed, but how it expresses may not be fixed. So that's what you can change. You might have one type of DNA which is bad for you, but your behavior, your actions, and the behavior of your ancestors, your parents, grandparents, that comes to you, that can change how the DNA will make RNA and how the RNA makes protein. I just want you to understand this thing before we start the series. So understand we have the DNA which is fixed, we have the RNA that is produced from DNA, and also the protein that comes from RNA. Ultimately it goes back to DNA. But whatever is in DNA doesn't have to be there. For example, I'll just give you one example. One example is the oncogenes. You may have cancer causing genes in you, but it may not express in your lifetime. So that is true. So this is just one example. So stay tuned. I'll see you in next video where we will talk about DNA. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in next video next time. Bye.